Hello and welcome to the newspaper review here on TAF TV for today, the 24th day of April 2023. My name is Cyril Aloysius, and as you know, it has always been my pleasure to bring to you different headlines in different newspapers across the nation. And as you can see today, I'm not alone. To my right is Mr. Victor Sioku, and to my left is Mr. Arinze. Sir, you are welcome. You are welcome, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for joining me. And together we're going to be talking on the different headlines in papers today. We'll be starting first by looking at the Guardian newspaper, where we have interesting headlines. The boldest headline here in the Guardian says, "Rising poverty costs dampen eSIM adoption, impact on Nigeria's card production." Rising poverty costs dampen eSIM adoption, impact on Nigeria's card production. Details of this headline is on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. And on page 4 here we have Ayetoro. Ondo community slipping into Atlantic Ocean. According to Ayetoro, he's saying Ondo community slipping into Atlantic Ocean. That story is on page 4 of the Guardian newspaper. And on page 6 we have Sudan. Federal government negotiates safe exit for stranded Nigerians. Sudan, federal government negotiates safe exit for stranded Nigerians. That story is on page 6 of the Guardian. And on page 8, we have another Lagos building collapses 24 hours after Sanwo-Olu's visit to Banana Island site. Another Lagos building collapses 24 hours after Sanwo-Olu's visit to Banana Island site. That story is on page 8 of the Guardian newspaper. And on page 21, we have how unregulated estate agencies, firms engage in multi-million naira scam. That story is on page 21. I go again. How unregulated estate agencies, firms engage in multi-million naira scam. That story is on page 21. I think that's the last headline there on the Guardian newspaper. Okay, I think I'll start first by talking to Mr. Victor Sioku. I'd like to get your reaction to the last headline I read out in the Guardian. That's on page 21, which says how unregulated estate agencies, firms engage in multi-million naira scam.
Okay, as we can see, let me even start. Should I start from the land business guys or from the building part of the real estate? Okay, so if I should start from the building part, which we know of recently, like every week we are seeing buildings falling apart. Okay, and if you go down, you find out that the regulators is either they came or they did not even come. And if you go back and check again, it's either they came, they dropped their warnings, and maybe, just maybe, they go from the back and collect money after. See, we cannot shy away from all these facts. Then, at the end of the day, the contractor will now go and use substandard materials so that he or she can make profit. So, in most cases, where you see these buildings falling apart, you find out that
as a result of the use of substandard materials.
Substandard materials, or they were trying to dodge some corners. They were just shying away from using the actual materials, or just going behind to make some shady deals.
So what do you think should now happen to these persons now that the buildings end up collapsing?
See, that is why many Nigerians, some Nigerians out there have the monies to buy buildings, some Nigerians out there have the monies to buy landed properties, but due to the sham going on in the real estate business, you find out that people are shying away from
to build
this. Yes, and we cannot take away that the fact that building, when there is a building project going on in any street, you find out that people get jobs. In fact, it goes down to market women, or will I say food vendors. You just see one woman will just from that street and just become a cook instantly. And people will be feeding her, she will be making her money. Sometimes, in fact, if a project will last for 1 year or more,
for that whole 1 year, she's cashing out.
That will be the best time of her life. Because she's sure that every morning they will come and eat their rice and beans. She goes in again, makes ever. So, but see, real estate is a big business anywhere in the world, but unfortunately for us, that that behavioral pattern of trying to scam people is just hampering that line of business. And it's a shame.
So what do you feel could be a solution to this right now in the country?
The solutions are there. The regulators, there are laws guiding all these things, but now the enforcers are the problem, because when they go there, they are after their money.
Okay,
and when they collect that money, off they go chasing another client. So by the time, if they want to make sure that these regulators get down to their jobs, they should go and use 1 or 2%, especially what's happened in Banana Island. Look for scapegoats, jail them. Because when such happens, especially the Banana Island, I believe it will make a whole lot of news. By the time you say so person has been jailed for this particular,
the rest will sit up.
I believe things will change for.
Mr. Rains, definitely I will not be doing justice to this topic if I should draw the curtain without hearing 1 or 2 things from you, given the fact that you are a renowned financial analyst. So let me hear from you, please. What do you make of this headline?
Oh, thank you very much. It's something that there is something about Nigeria. You see, the problem of Nigeria is from the head. Now, look at it this way. The person that is building the structure does not want to pay complete. He wants it cheap. And there is no way you'll be paying less than what the market price or market forces are demanding. Because the contractor that is giving the job to will still want to make profit, because he will not finish doing your job and go home empty-handed. So by the time you pay somebody in a way that you know that you're underpaying the person, but because you feel that you don't want the person to make anything, you just want the person to enslave himself, you end up using inferior material. Now, do we have all these laws? Yes, just like Sioku said, we have all these laws. But the problem we have in Nigeria is the same issue of government. The law enforcement people, enforcing the law is weak. Why is it weak? The person doing that job is underpaid. You can't pay somebody a certain amount of money and you expect him to give you the best. So the moment he gets to that site, he has no option than to collect a small tip of 50,000, 100,000 that they give to him, knowing fully well what this money will do in his life and the life of his family. So that's why I say the problem still boils down to the problem of Nigeria, which is the head. If we get the government right, everything will fall into place gradually, including the real estate business. Because somebody is supplying AG or somewhere, and he's supplying it at the rate less than NNPC price. How can you supply? And this contract is coming from a regulated industry. How do you expect the person to supply? And you expect the person to give you a standard product. So these are the issues we have. It boils down to real estate, everything that we do in Nigeria. So real estate will not be left out of it.
So if I get you correctly, if we get it right,
at the top, everything will fall into place.
All right.
But lastly, I still think that in as much as yes, get it right, but people should also have that conscience that, see, if I'm to use, let's say for instance 16 rod, I should maintain that 16 because if I'm going to use 12 that means the integrity of that building might just be at fault, and what will happen, it might be just so bad that people might lose their lives, just like what we said.
There is nothing as bad as hunger. Hunger has a way of snatching your consciousness.
True.
You see, your integrity is not when there is hunger. So you need to equally.
And Mr. Rizzi has just said things the way they are. You see, Mr. Victor, when you are hungry, if I let's not do that topic for tomorrow, please. Let me not even talk about hunger for now. So we are moving straight now to this day newspaper, where we have some more interesting headlines. I'm reading the boldest headline first, which says, Obi meets Muslims, says Nigeria is one, only divided by politics. Obi meets Muslims, says Nigeria is one, only divided by politics. That's the boldest headline there on this day newspaper. And this one here on page 12 says, Federal government pledges to evacuate Nigerians back home from Sudan in next 2 days. That story is on page 12 of this day. I go again. Federal government pledges to evacuate Nigerians back home from Sudan in the next 2 days. And this one here says Faleke confirms Tinubu's return today, mobilizes welcome. Faleke confirms Tinubu's return today, mobilizes welcome. And on page 8 here on this day, we have federal government. Amid global dynamics, economic trade alliances crucial for Nigeria's prosperity. That story is on page 8 of this day newspaper. Amid global dynamics, economic trade alliances crucial for Nigeria's prosperity. That story is on page 8 of this day newspaper. And lastly, here on this day, we have on page 5, says decade of gas. NCDMB advocates annual reporting of implementation status. NCDMB advocates annual reporting of implementation status. Okay, that story is on page 5 of this day newspaper. I think I'll be starting once again from my right, and that's Mr. Victor. I'd like to get your thoughts on Obi meeting the Muslims and saying Nigeria is one, only divided by politics. How do you react to this?
I think I'm sorry to say this to Obedient family.
Is he throwing it all already?
No. Nigeria is not being divided by politics. Nigeria is divided by ethnicity and religion. Okay. I think he is playing politics this time around as a politician that he is. I'm sorry. Some people might be offended with that. Okay. But let's face the facts. Nigeria is divided by religious lines. Okay. Let me make this instance. Okay. If he's talking about Nigeria not being divided by any other term than politics, why didn't he go ahead to look for a VP candidate, okay, that is a Christian? Are you getting me?
Okay. No, but I think that one, he won't be fair.
He won't be fair?
Yes.
Okay, why?
Why? Because you need to strike a balance.
Okay.
Now, in a
strike
country...
a balance because the country is divided.
No. You need to strike a balance.
Why would you call a balance?
No, because there's what we call emotional balance in whatever you're doing.
Okay.
Do you understand? Now, if you get to even the countries like Ghana, where you have very minute amount of Muslims, they don't do anything without having Muslims involved. Now, beyond the fact that...
So the Muslims don't feel left out?
Yes, beyond the fact that you have... ethnicity, religious, politics dividing us. Yes, Obi is right in his own part. We are divided by politics, but we are not divided by only politics. I think that should be a better one.
Yeah, okay.
We are divided by politics.
We are divided now rephrasing his...
we are divided by religion. We are divided even inside Christianity. We are still divided by, when you get closer home, you start seeing
by doctrines,
Catholic doctrine and belief.
Yes.
Is a Catholic 7 days Adventist. You have the witness. Different things divide.
Let me also tell you, inside your own church, you
inside
might be divided
church.
in respect to ethnicity.
Of course. No, I'm coming.
Ethnicity might not come in inside the church.
Sure, yes.
Oh, now Yoruba church. So Yoruba
exactly.
Yes.
So when 2 or 3 are gathered, there is something bringing division inside them. Now that division is what makes it fun. Because when you bring the friction and at the end of the day you have a common ground for compromise, that's what makes the understanding there and we move on. So now what am I saying? What I'm saying is that the visit to Muslims, yeah, very okay, is not wrong, but that's just like Obi's nature. He moves around. He touches everywhere. That is why you notice something that during the election, places where Obi got the highest amount of votes are not even his states. Reason, because just like we said, when you get closer home, you find out some things dividing us equally. In the states where Obi came from, some people are saying, Obi is a staunch Catholic. He may not favor Anglicans.
Okay.
Now, when Obi is out there as a Nigerian president, naturally, the bandwagon effect has made it that they will all want to support him. But deep down, even when Obi was a governor, when he was contesting for governorship, a lot of people did not support him, not because they know he won't do well, But because some of them said, oh, this guy is a
Personal
papa's
interest.
knight. As a
Personal
papa's
interest.
knight, he may have a closer attention to the Catholics. So sometimes a lot of things come into play. So Obi's visit to the Muslim family, very good, very okay. He's only trying to tell them that there is a balance, which every well-meaning Nigeria always know that he is always trying to strike that balance, because he had not believed in the politics of divide and rule. Everybody has his own political strategy.
Okay.
Yes, his strategy is a politics of trying to work on psychology and bringing the psychology of all-inclusive politics. These are things that can only be known when he comes in there.
Okay, you made mention that he came to bring balance by appointing Dati as a Muslim. So, for him to have selected Dati, that means that there was an imbalance.
Sure.
So, what caused that imbalance?
Is a natural thing in Nigeria.
Not politics.
It's not,
that is what I'm trying to say.
No, it's not politics.
That caused that imbalance.
That particular imbalance is not politics.
Religious or ethnicity.
Now, why he's mentioning divided by politics is because the political bigwigs sometimes use religion to get what they want. But the attention there is that they are using the religion to translating it into political affairs to get what they want. So it's not that, okay, just like, let me give you an example. Just like when during Lagos election, and all of a sudden, some people are turning it into Labour Party are Igbos. Labour Party are not Igbos.
Exactly.
As a matter of fact, Igbos are more of PDP.
But
that's what they forget.
Can you now also say that the Labour Party is a Christian party?
Labour Party is not a Christian party.
Okay, why?
Because Labour Party are purely an idea of a different party. Remember, Labour Party is there, Obedience are there. Obedience are not Labour Party. Obedience are there for a positive and a new Nigeria, which claim, in quotes, that is their claim. A certain group of persons, more of the youths, have said, oh, we like the ideology of this man, we want to work with him. And that is why when you take out Peter Obi from Labour Party goes back to zero. Take it or leave it.
So can't you say that from the results that we got, although very debatable results that we got from the last election, but you still find out that where Peter Obi won was majorly Christian states.
Okay, now let me give you...
The ones that are not Christian states, it was between the APC and the PDP. You had both.
Exactly. Let me give you...
How sure are we
I'm coming. Let me give you an example.
From the Muslim
no. Let's try.
Not tampered with.
Let's even try and be a bit centralized here. Nigeria, we are not yet enlightened. You won't believe it. In this, as a city as Port Harcourt, we still have a whole lot of people in Port Harcourt that does not have BVN, does not have a bank account.
Sure.
That are matured, grown-up men. Now, if such thing will be in Port Harcourt, so what do you have to say about the subs? First thing is this. You notice that Obi ended up winning in Lagos. Why? You have more of the elites there. So, now, in Nigeria, do you know that a whole lot of people still believe that when they go to church, it is their pastor that will tell them where to vote. A lot of people believe that it is their community leader that will tell them where to vote. A lot of people still believe that it is their royal family that will call the whole town for a village and tell them this is a direction that we are going to. This is the leader that will bring us. A lot of people don't even know what obedience is. And that is why you find out that some core... Have you visited the northern states before? Are you sure? Now, you should bear me witness. You know that there are still a lot of states that listens to just what their imam has said after the Friday Jumat prayer.
Sure.
You understand?
Sure.
And from that, it's a very simple thing. It's a direction that he wants them to go, that they will go. Because they already have, okay, now, in those states where you have APC and PDP taking the battle, for real, it's possible. Because you may even find out that the elites, those that are not obedient, they are minor. So is it possible? It's possible. I'm not against that.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Victor and
Thank you,
Mr. Rize. Yeah, exactly, exactly. if we continue talking on it, we might not get done with the program for today. But we need to go on a break right now. And when we return, we'll continue from where we stopped. Please stay tuned.
Hey there. Are you looking to record your videos, do your voiceovers, and take your professional pictures? Look no further. With our state-of-the-art newsroom, photography, kitchen for our food content creators, and exclusive children's studio, we certainly can deliver the best studio experience. Our carefully designed studio space can bring your diverse creative content ideas to life. We aim to consistently serve value to our customers far and wide. Come, let Tharv Media give life to your dreams. Tharv Media, a slice of infotainment.
Yes, you're welcome back. Still on the newspaper review here on THAF TV. We shall be taking a look now at our next and last paper for the day, which is the Leadership newspaper. Headlines here in the Leadership, the boldest one here says, amid low patronage, mass metering program in limbo as manufacturers divest. Amid low patronage, mass metering program in limbo as manufacturers divest. That story is on page 4 of the Leadership newspaper. And on page 6 here we have 168 persons evacuated as 2 buildings collapse in Lagos, Ibadan. Okay, that's on page 6 of the Leadership. On page 4 we have Sudan war. Nigerian students flee to Ethiopia. That story is on page 4. And on page 8 here we have 35 days to inauguration. Tinubu returns today. 35 days to inauguration. Tinubu returns today. That story is on page 8 of the Leadership newspaper. And on page 7 here we have missing crude oil. Serap threatens to sue federal government. Missing crude oil. Serap threatens to sue federal government. That story is on page 7 of the Leadership. And on page 10 here of the Leadership, we have troops kill 42 terrorists, destroy 12 camps in Borno, Zamfara. That story is on page 10. I go again. Troops kill 42 terrorists, destroy 12 camps in Borno, Zamfara. And lastly, in the Leadership on page 6, we have INEC ask IGP, Inspector General of Police, to investigate Adamawa declaration drama. INEC asked IGP to investigate Adamawa declaration drama. That story is on page 6 of the Leadership. You want more details on the headlines you heard? Get a copy of the papers for yourself. I'll be starting once again by talking to Mr. Victor. Mr. Victor, please let me get your thoughts on the news on page 4, which says, amid low patronage, mass metering program in limbo as manufacturers divest.
In the Igbo parlance, they say, Arabalande lepa. So what is happening? Man, to manage this country is not easy. That's why you see our presidents, when the heat is too much, they run away and go and cool off. Look at Tinubu has already started. Okay.
Now the problem is you keep running away to go and cool off. They have never thought, how about making sure that this country is developed to that level?
Leading Nigeria is not easy, my brother.
Leading every country is never easy.
Nigeria is harder. You know why? How can you bring out meter? Tell people, use meter. They will divert all those electricity to somewhere else. At the end of the day, you, the PhD or ECO or anywhere you are coming from, you find out that they have been fighting toothlessly. Nothing is happening. Okay, the other time, somewhere, not my place, somewhere, somebody tapped. Okay? But can you imagine? After they had found their way inside the compound, okay? Cut the bad connection, right? What did the person do? Went and met the top person among the NEPA, the PhD person, bribed the person, and that was how
case died off.
his own his own was in quotes resolved. So
A forgotten case.
so what about the people in their bachas? If you now come down to them, how will you give them a meter of 60 something thousand to pay?
Wow.
How will they pay for it? What NEPA also tried to do, sorry, I'm still calling them NEPA. What they try to do is, okay, they'll give you that meter on credit, but some person did not even know. I don't know whether they've stopped that style. They'll give you the meter, and you think that
and parade it to your bill.
You think that, oh, they gave it to me free. You don't know that you'll be paying for that meter inside that. So your unit will be running so fast.
My God.
That you don't know that you are paying for the loan, because it's a loan that you collected. So it is a difficult situation right now. Do you know that? And I pity them so much, because these persons, this power thing we are talking about, it is not free. The gencos will produce the power, give it to the transmitters, they will transmit, then the distribution company. So how will this distribution company pay for the goods that they've bought from the gencos? That, mind you, they still have the transmitter persons to pay. So you find out that, see, these guys are doing business, and for somebody that is doing business, you must make profit. If you don't make profit, your business will shut down. Look at Abba. Lastly, Abba is owing the Genco there 4.something billion naira. How will they pay? How did it even happen? Because of tapping. They were just tapping, and they tapped that 4.something billion.
My God.
It's a serious case.
My God. Of course, I will not be ending this topic without talking to Mr. Arinze. Mr. Arinze, please, what do you have to say to this?
You see, just like I said earlier, everything lies in the hands of leadership. Okay, now, Nigeria said that we are privatizing NEPA, and we are calling them EEDC, PHCN, Kaduna Electricity Development Company, different names. But you're not giving them the autonomy
that they need to operate.
Yes. Remember, the PHCN or the distribution companies are only at the end users. They already have costs built in before it gets to them, which comes from the GENCOs and the TCN.
Okay.
You understand? Now, remember, they need to service these two other costs and equally make profits, noting fully well that they have already been privatized. So they already have all their direct costs to take care of. Now, the same time, after the privatization, there was no deep change. Of course, we all know that the change will not happen all of a sudden and overnight. At least I want to give a big credit to PHCN, the one I'm close to, which is in Port Harcourt. They've been trying to change a lot of things. Currently, PHCN is trying to modify that, bringing in new ideas, new innovations in their business. And that's why one of the worst things that will happen to you is to use light without prepaid meter. Because they will load you 200,000 in a month.
I'll give you an estimated bill now.
The estimated bill will be crazy. And now, once they give you that first month estimated bill, and you now take your meter next month, you will think that the cost has been taken away. They've built it into your meter. They've built it into your readings. Now,
and this is so sad.
A lot of people don't even take a close look at what they recharge the unit is giving them. All they know is that they've recharged. And sometimes these monies are cut out from your units as you're recharging. Just take a close look at that. Now, these companies have targets. They need to meet their targets. Nigeria is still very sophisticated. We have, do you know that the people using meter in Nigeria are still less than 30%? It will amaze you.
Wow.
And I'm talking this 30% includes both the prepaid meter and the postpaid meter. Less than 30%. So where would they get the revenue to service their own internal issue and make profits? So it's a general thing. Just that the only thing I'll say is that they need to continue. One of the things they need to do is to subsidize the price of the meter.
Okay.
Yes, these meters need to be subsidized. If the cost of production is high, they need to get a better technology to do something that would be more pocket friendly. to Nigerians. I'm sure with that, more people will buy into that.
See, why would they subsidize it knowing that the forex is something else in this country? Okay, 60,000 for me, it's not even over the blue for such technology. Okay, but now when you now say they should subsidize it, if they subsidize it, how will they now still get their monies back? It is by they will send it back to the billing system and collect back their money, just like what is happening with the SIM cards. So sometimes you just go and buy SIM cards free of charge, not knowing that cost is still embedded while you are recharging your SIM.
I think that would be a bit. We are only looking at ways to encourage people. I think that will encourage more people
to get it.
They will not really be taking note of that depth of the little minute money that brings their pocket.
Exactly. Some people are taking note.
Yes,
I know a neighbor that the man will just come out with pen and paper and be writing it down, be checking his meter.
Of course.
Because see, when you check, it's not easy. Let me tell you, in a month, average families, maybe family of 3 or 4,
It's 30,
in a month,
40,000
30K
minimum.
And let me tell you, this weather now is we are in a hot/raining weather. Okay, you cannot even try to power your AC 24/7. And still pay that, you will not.
Try to use 10,000 for 2 days.
It will not work. So it's already expensive on its own, but you can also help it because the cost of buying petrol
is also something else.
That one is killing. So when you need to just pray for God to.
In all that we have said, I think the only solution now is for us to pack our bags and run away from the country.
No, I think the only solution is for us to pray for good leadership.
Good leadership.
Whoever that is coming in, let good leadership come in.
Mr. Rinze, is it enough to just pray for good leadership? Why not work it out ourselves?
We've already worked.
Have not prayed long enough?
No, haven't we worked? We've worked. We've chosen somebody.
How did we work?
Don't we have a president-elect? We have a president-elect.
So
that can change this country.
No, you can never say. Like I always say, the test of whatever you're doing is in the real test.
Rinze, let's stop deceiving ourselves now.
If forex comes down, many of these things we are crying out for,
they will drop.
They will just drop. Just imagine.
It's a matter of if.
1 naira goes for.
What if it doesn't come down?
$1 goes for 100 naira.
No, it can.
Issues will drop.
It can. We know what to do for it to go.
Meaning it's under probability. So what if it doesn't come down? What if it increases?
No problems.
All right. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for staying faithful to your screen up until this time. Thank you so much, because without you, this program won't be possible. This is the end of the newspaper review for today. Thank you, Mr. Victor Sioku.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rinze, for coming through. I really appreciate you stopping by. And I remain so grateful to you, my wonderful viewers who have given me your attention up until this time. Please don't forget, you can also be a part of this discussion. You have some questions, you have some suggestions to make, do well to drop them in the comment section of this post, and we'll ensure that we will get back to you. We must reply them. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do so. And after subscribing, ensure that you turn on your notification bells so you can get notified when we come online and drop new videos. And also check us out on our different social media platforms. You can check us out on YouTube. We are TAF TV on YouTube. On Instagram, we are TAF TV_NG. On Facebook and Twitter, we are TAF TV. Cyril Aloysius is my name, and until we come your way again next time, do enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for watching.